Both, carpenters.
Both, show original harmony with nature.
Both, murdered horrifically.
Both, innocent of the reasons they are killed.
Both, set fallen man free.
Both, confront and defeat the devil.
Both, spiritual leaders and not military leaders.
Chapter 1, Simon faints under cruelty. Christ also does not react well to cruelty. Spiritual leader. Chapter 2, Simon sees flowers he imagines are candles. Poetic but also original harmony with nature. Chapter 3, Simon is the only boy to help Ralph build huts. Page 46. Carpenter.
Chapter 3, Simon goes off alone, as Christ does in many gospel accounts. In Simon's special place there are butterflies. Butterflies resurrect and are therefore a symbol of Christ. Simon listens to the sounds of the island. Simon is at one with nature, original harmony.
Simon tries to speak 3 times at meetings. He is denied all 3 times. What good did Simon do speaking? Page 92. Chapter 6, Simon is wounded in the forehead by a tree that is spiked. Page 94. Crowning with thorns. After his crowning, Simon seems to know his mission. Simon is the only boy that wants to confront the beast, and he is the only one that does up to the point of his death.
After his crowning, Simon tells Ralph that Ralph will survive. I just think you'll get back all right. Page 101. He knows his own future and is pretty sure about Ralph's. Simon does not say that he will get back, just that Ralph will. He also isn't definite about Ralph getting back because only the Father knows the day and the time, right?
Simon and Jesus both have an agony in the garden. Christ and Simon are very thirsty in both cases. Christ makes reference to a cup passing his lips, if it be the Father's will. Simon spontaneously gets a nosebleed. Christ also bled in his agony spontaneously.
Golding is very careful to show us Christ or Simon's agony at the same time the pig is being killed.
While the boys are killing the pig, we see the absolute ugliest things that humans are capable of. They are committing every one of the 7 deadly sins.
This is contrasted by Simon showing the beauty of Christ's suffering for our disgusting actions. The absolute most ugly thing that can happen is right next to the most beautiful thing that ever did happen.
Simon stays mostly silent while the beast accuses him of things, just like Jesus did while Pilate accused him.
Simon also calls the beast what it is, pig head on a stick. Just like Jesus calls the tempter Satan.
The last time Simon is denied is also right before he begins his agony. He says that they should confront the beast. This is before the agony but after the crowing with thorns.
After confronting the Lord of the Flies, which means Beelzebub in Hebrew, he climbs to the parachute man and cuts him loose.
What is interesting here is that earlier Simon didn't think the beast was what Sam and Eric thought it was. He thought it was a man both heroic and sick.
When he gets to the parachute man, he realizes he is sick, or dead, and he is heroic or a war hero. Also, until Christ died for us, we were dead inside too, no matter how heroic we were.
In chapter 9, Simon decides he has to go and tell the boys that the beast is really only their own paranoid minds. The beast is just their imaginations running wild.
When he gets to the beach, the boys swarm him like a bunch of flies and beat him, and bite him, and kill him.
Even Ralph and Piggy do this.
Because Simon cut Parachute Man loose at the moment of Simon's death, Parachute Man is raised up into the sky again and flies away. Simon or Jesus has just saved fallen man.
Simon's brains are described as making a halo around his head and he is washed out to sea. The sea is very often a symbol of heaven. Also, this was foreshadowed earlier when they saw the ship and Simon almost drowned himself.
Several times in the Gospels when Christ was about to perform a miracle, he would groan to heaven. In this book, Simon groans a couple of times when he knows something the others don't. Also, he groans when he's trying to stop Ralph from checking the fire and he tries to touch Ralph's face, indicating some type of healing he wants to give Ralph. Simon is nice to all, even Piggy and the little ones. No one but Simon is really nice to Piggy, even Ralph. Most of the time Ralph tries to ignore Piggy if others are around. Simon is the least beast-like of all the boys, and yet he is mistaken for the beast most often.
In the fallen world, doesn't it make sense that Christ would also look beast-like? That a world that is used to sin and suffering would be suspicious of someone that tells them life is meant to be different and there is supposed to be a heaven?
Simon is Jesus.